I wanted to make a quick follow-up video to my last Supreme Commander 2 video on merges and shadowing. I have actually learned what it means for a mod to be DLC and non-DLC compatible. So the best route is to be both DLC and non-DLC compatible. And I have figured out how to do that now. We need to add another folder inside of our SCD folder and just name it units. Then what we do is we take our blueprint merges that we've made earlier and then put that in here. I have also realized that my naming mechanism for this file is not the best, so I'm going to quickly change that. Just like that. Because if two mods have the same name for a blueprint merge file, only one will be running at a time. So we can just avoid that by naming our file unique to our mod name. Now here's where it begins to separate. I'm going to create a copy of this file, but I'm going to add DLC to the end. This file will be specifically for DLC. Now I'm going to go inside the DLC Lua file and get a unit from here. This is also where DLC units are. Inside of this folder, uncompiled, and then it's mods DLC1 and then base for the new units. DLC units are slightly different in that they all end with D1, which of course stands for DLC1. So all I'm going to do is make it so my changes are very obvious. I'm curious, what happens if I make a 1000 size shield? So I load it in with the DLC, and the blueprint merge still works, no surprise there. But now, if I build this, yep, we can see that that unit has been edited. I want to see how big its shield is. I want to see what it looks like. Where does it end? Oh, that's a big shield. It's also a useless shield. Alright, so as can be seen, the units are being merged, and it's also working on the DLC. Everything's working as intended. But now, if I disable the DLC, yep, that still has its health. So I have done a little bit of testing, and I can't seem to figure out how to get shadowing to work without the DLC. I think you might need the DLC to have access to shadowing, because there's a very specific folder that it uses, the mods DLC folder. I have moved the shadow folder in many different locations, but without the DLC, it never seems to run. If the shadow works, just like in my first video, there should be no sparks coming out the side here when it starts building. But you can see sparks, which means that my changes have not been applied. However, if I go to build the point defense, you'll see that it still has absurdly high health and range, which means that those have in fact taken place. I've looked through several different tutorial pages on the old forums and nothing seems to mention this. So that's further making me believe that it just might not be possible. So if you do plan on having your mod work only without the DLC, I do not believe you'll be able to use shadowing. So far I have not found out a way. However, doing what I have done, now you can have your mod be compatible with both DLC and non-DLC. So to recap, the only thing you add is within your .scd folder a units file, just like this, all lowercase. And then inside there, you put your blueprint merges again. Just completely copy and paste from the mods DLC merges right here.